Okay, so I'm here with another video now, and this is kind of going to be it's going to be a kind of response, but my take on a video that Broken Games HD did the other day. You're probably familiar with him, he's quite big in the gaming YouTube community. If you aren't familiar with him, check out his videos, he's really cool, really funny. So yeah, he did a video saying his game franchises that he wants to die and to kind of disappear, which I thought was really good. But then he also did a video saying that there's some game franchises that he wishes to be revived and kind of brought back into modern day, games that kind of deserve sequels but never did get it. And I thought that was quite a good topic, and I thought I'd give you my take. I haven't got as many kind of choices as he did. I think I've got I've got seven games that I'd like to have maybe a sequel nowadays or in the next gen. So yeah, let's get straight on with my list. First up, straight on that list, is Jak and Daxter. Quite an obvious choice really. I'm a huge Jak and Daxter fan, and the way that I just really find it quite shocking how they haven't had a game in this generation on the PS3, considering how big of a franchise it was back in the PS2 days. They had 3 very successful games. Naughty Dog's kind of, before Uncharted came along, that was Naughty Dog's flagship franchise. I know that they still fully support Jak and Daxter. We've recently had the HD trilogy come out, and there's all sorts of little kind of Easter eggs and little points towards Jak and Daxter in the Uncharted games as well. So they haven't completely forgotten about them. And we had one game on the PSP. I know that wasn't fully by Naughty Dog, but that obviously wasn't enough to fulfill my needs for Jak and Daxter. I would love to see what they look like on like a modern day or maybe the next gen graphics. And I think we're crying out for that type of game really, that kind of action platformer, bit of like a sandbox style, like Jak 2 and Jak 3 were the kind of more adult orientated game. I'm really hoping for a Jak 4. I think we will get a new Jak game eventually, but I'm quite shocked we haven't had it yet. So yeah, Jak and Daxter definitely top of that list that I want to be revived. I want a new game in that series. I will say actually some of these games aren't really games that I want revived, because some of them are still around nowadays. It's games that I kind of want sequels to that we haven't had. So next on that list is Spyro the Dragon. You've all probably played Spyro in your childhood. Very kind of it was a big series back in the PS1 days. You had kind of Crash Bandicoot and Spyro as the top 2 kind of games for the PlayStation, and I loved it. They had loads of Spyro games. You had like Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, I think it was called. There was loads of them, I can't remember them all, but playing those games is really nostalgic to me. I remember spending so many hours on those games. It was really kind of a good challenge to older hardcore gamers as well as being quite a good fun for younger gamers as well. And I think that's again, just like Jak and Daxter, there's a gap in the market for that type of game. This kind of happy Spyro game. I know they released a couple for the PS2 like in its later days, and I know there is one on the PS3. I can't remember what it's called now, but it's not like the Spyro back in the PS1 days. This one was much more serious. Spyro was like a fully grown dragon, like gliding round these fields, and that's not what Spyro's about. Spyro was the young kind of dragon who's still learning his basics, and he couldn't fly properly, but that was what's cool about him. That was his own unique character. They didn't need to change it by making him older and have the more adult themed story and things like that. That's how we liked Spyro on the PS1, and that's how I want a new Spyro game. So I pray that one day we get another Spyro game, but I don't know. I think they're going kind of with this Skylanders sort of rubbish that they're doing nowadays. That's not Spyro games at all, is it? I don't even know why Spyro's in that franchise at all. So yeah, moving away from that, I did mention it just a minute ago, and that's Crash Bandicoot. Why haven't we had a Crash Bandicoot game this generation? I don't think Naughty Dog own the rights to Crash Bandicoot anymore, because there have been kind of spin-offs on the GameCube and PS2 which weren't Naughty Dog games, I don't think. Obviously there wouldn't be, because Naughty Dog's a PlayStation, a Sony exclusive developer, so they wouldn't be developing for GameCube or Xbox, things like that. But yeah, Crash Bandicoot, we need a Crash Bandicoot game. He's such an iconic character. Back in his day, he was up there with Mario and Sonic. But now that we've moved on generations, he's just gone. Crash Bandicoot's gone. He's not even been announced for the PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale game yet. So hopefully it will be, but Crash Bandicoot is a game that we need. It was a really fun game. Everyone loved Crash Bandicoot, so yeah, bring it back. Next is Star Fox, but not the Star Fox that most of you are familiar with, because I've actually never really played many of the proper Star Fox, like Lilac Wars games, the spaceship games. I've never played those. But one game I did play and really enjoy was Star Fox Adventures on the GameCube, and that was one of my favourite games on the GameCube, and I'd love them to bring that back. That was a really good adventure game, really good kind of action platformer, good bit of combat in there as well. All the characters that you know from Star Fox were in there, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I played it multiple times, but I don't know if it's that widely popular. I don't really know many other people that kind of mention the game. I know that when people think of Star Fox, they think of the familiar spaceship game. But yeah, Star Fox Adventures was one of my favourite games in my youth, and one that I would definitely love to see maybe on the Wii U or even on the 3DS, something like that, just to bring that kind of adventure side back to the Star Fox franchise. But yeah, I know a lot of people want proper Star Fox games back as well. I know we had one for the 3DS, but that was a remake of the N64 original game, so that wasn't really a new game. So yeah, Star Fox is definitely a series that needs to be back in the limelight. Next one is The Getaway, and you may have played this back in the PS2 days, and it was basically, it's Grand Theft Auto in London, and that's what I loved about it. Coming from the UK, it's really cool to kind of have that open world game in London, where you get kind of a feel of London. It was a very dark, gritty game. It's like playing an episode of EastEnders or something like that. It was proper London, and that's what I really liked about it. It was just as brutal as GTA. There wasn't as much like kind of craziness like jetpacks and tanks and stuff like that, but you could drive around where you want, you could kind of beat people up on the street and that. But what I really liked about it is it got London right down to a T. You could go anywhere, like Buckingham Palace, that Big Ben, the London Eye, it was all there, and that's what I really liked. And I think they did a sequel to it as well, Getaway, the Black Monday, which I had, and I still have that now. Actually, it's a really enjoyable game, and like I said, I'd love that to come back, but I don't know if it will, because like I said, I don't know if it's very popular in other countries. If you are an American watching this right now, tell me. I'm really intrigued actually to know if The Getaway was popular in America, and also the sequel Getaway, Black Monday. Really quite interested to find that out as well. So if you have played it, I'd appreciate any comment. But yeah, that's The Getaway. The next one you might not know is it's a PC game called The Longest Journey, and it's very similar to Broken Sword, like the point and click mystery game. You play as a girl called April, I think her name was, and it was very kind of hard, a very good story. Like I said, very much like Broken Sword, the point and click mystery game. You had to kind of solve puzzles to progress, and I really enjoyed it. I love point and click games, like I said in my Broken Sword announcement video a few weeks back. But yeah, there's only been one game of it, which means I know it's not a franchise they could continue, but I'd love to have a new Longest Journey game. It was brilliant. Check out a trailer, just type in the search box above The Longest Journey and just see what you think of it. It was really fun. The last one on my list is Oddworld, but I know there has been more Oddworld games. I know we had Stranger's Wrath come out on PSN a few months ago, sorry. But what I want is another Abe game. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey was a brilliant PS1 game. I know they are remaking it for PlayStation Network, which I'm going to snap up straight away. But Oddworld was actually the very first PS1 game that I ever played. Well, I played Crash Bandicoot, but when we actually bought a PS1, Oddworld was the first game that we bought with it. So that's got special memories for me. I loved playing as Abe back in the day. It was a really kind of strategic puzzle game. It was a very slow pace. You had to sit and think about the puzzles and things like that, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. It was very hard for me as I was quite young. I didn't really have the patience to play it, so that's why I kind of want a new challenge nowadays where I'm older. I've got a bit more patience with this type of game. I'd love to try it out again because I never did complete it, but I know I had many tries at it and I really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to the remake that brings a PSN, and hopefully we'll get another Abe game in the future. But yeah, that was just my small little list of games that I want back. Write down in the comments if you agree with my choices and tell me the ones that you want back. I know there's going to be loads of games that people are missing, so yeah, drop those down in the comments below. And I appreciate all the likes, comments, everything that you will do for me. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.